Okay. And we are streaming live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Enlightened World Network's Day of Transformation. And we have had quite a day today, and we've had beautiful, absolutely amazing spiritual workers that are coming forth to guide us into some more light and some meditation and how we can handle this time that we're in presently. We have another beautiful, amazing woman with us today, Joanna Rogister. Welcome to Enlightened World's Day of Transformation.
Thank you very much, Terry. I appreciate you having me on here.
I'm looking forward to your discussion, what you're going to share with us today. And I'm just going to turn it over to you to do that. And I'll be back on at the end to get some information from you about how people can reach out to you.
Wonderful. Thank you, Terry. So hi, everyone. I am Joanna Rogister, Wellness Renegade, and thank you for joining me on this amazing telesummit that's been organized by the Enlightened World Network. So today I wanted to talk to you a bit about your intuition and about learning to trust your gut. Especially, it's so important in this amazing time, what's taking place in our world. And the more we can come to understand ourselves and understand what we're being shown, the more we can come to trust ourselves, and the more that we can step into our true power. Because our intuition really is just our own inner genius, our own inner wisdom, and it's all there inside of us. But we often don't listen to it because we don't know what it's telling us. So intuition can present itself in all different ways. Every person it's different, but intuition is often that gut feeling, whether you understand it as indigestion or intuition. Anxiety can often be that your body's trying to tell you something to make changes. Tightening in the throat can be your intuition talking to you, to speak your voice, to speak your mind. Intuition can be as simple as knowing who's calling you on the phone without looking at call display, of course. But so intuition is there in so many ways, and it's just when we can learn to tap into it and recognize it, then we can really utilize it and come to trust it, and then come to trust ourselves. And once again, with everything going on in the world, if we trust our gut and listen, then we will not be steered in the wrong direction. We'll know, even right now, whether or not it's okay to go someplace. You can tap in and listen to what you're being told by your body. And so how do you tap into your intuition, and how do you utilize it? Because we are all intuitive people. We've just learned to either ignore it, suppress it, or we call it something different, and we don't know what to do with it. But intuition just draws from your conscious mind, your subconscious mind. It pulls in your wisdom, your knowledge, your innate understanding of body language. It's all there for you, all inside of you. And that's another aspect of your intuition, is that so often we search outside of us for what's already inside of us, what's already a part of us. And so when we can come to trust ourselves, then we don't have to worry about trusting the rest of the world or trusting other people. We will know that what we're shown is very important for us, a signal for us to tap into. So how do you become, or how do you start to utilize your intuition? Because a lot of times people say, well, how do I know what's the difference between anxiety and my intuition? Well, when you come to know your body, you will come to recognize that there is a difference, because you'll be able to go, yeah, that's not anxiety, that's my body showing me something. So how do you do that? Well, the first step is to start to develop self-awareness and to become an observer in your life, to start to pay attention and listen to what you're being shown. We live in these absolutely amazing bodies, these bodies that balance themselves on a second-by-second basis. It's called homeostasis, and our body continues to balance itself until it no longer can, and that's when disease sets in. And this homeostasis is why so often people will come to me, because I'm a homeopath and nutritionist and intuitive life coach. And they'll come to me and they say, well, I was at my doctor and I know there's something wrong, but he or she's done all the tests and the tests have come back saying there's nothing wrong. But yet they know. But that's because the body has balances itself until it can't. And so they may see me, but like a month later, they're back at their doctor's and the body come to know yourself and demand, be an advocate for you and, really say, I know there's something wrong. And it's very interesting because usually I don't talk about that, but someone must have needed to hear that today. So pay attention to what your body's telling you, because you do get warning signs. Warning signs such as bloating, gas, anxiety, depression, headaches, aches and pains in your joints, bowel issues, constipation, diarrhea, irregular menstrual cycles. These are all warning signs from your body to listen to what's going on. When you can start to pay attention and to recognize the physical symptoms, you'll start to come to know your body better. A 7-day food and mood diary is a really great way to get in touch with your body. And you can create a form, or if you ever want to just send me an email, you can download a form. But really what you're doing is on a daily basis, you're going to record the food that you're eating. And if you're looking for weight loss, you would record the amounts, but then you're also going to record how much water you drink, how much sleep you had, how many bowel movements you have, because yes, they're really important, but also what your mood was like during the day. So you can start to connect those dots between the food that you put into your body and how it makes you feel. So you can listen down the road and come to see if it is indigestion or intuition. Because a lot of times indigestion is that feeling in your gut, whether it's butterflies or it's a bit of cramping or it's just a knowing that there's something different there. And so, because other people also recognize intuition, that sometimes it's the hair standing up in the back of your neck, or maybe the hair on your arms. A friend of mine, when her intuition taps in, it's like she feels a rubbing on the back of on her back. So everyone is different, but you will be shown different signs. And the more you listen to your body, the more you'll hear those signs. So start to pay attention to what your body's telling you. And from there, then you can start to notice your thoughts. We have about 4,000 thoughts every day, but a lot of them are the same repetitive loop over and over again. And we get caught up in that, constantly thinking about the same things. And for a lot of them, unfortunately, there's a lot of negative thoughts in there. We're harsher on ourselves than on anyone else. And if you've ever caught yourself calling yourself stupid or an idiot, or, oh my God, I would look horrible, or I'm not capable, those are thoughts. And it's actually your ego trying to control you and trying to keep you down. And, egos played a great role in your life, but you no longer need it. We don't need the ego like we used to. So we can put that ego up on a shelf and just say, I appreciate you, I love you, you've served a purpose, but I don't need you anymore to control me, because that ego will limit you and prevent you from really expanding out there. So pay attention to your thoughts. At first, just start to notice them. Don't try and change them, because we want to just see where they go. And because down the road, you will start to notice them, but you're not going to judge yourself on them. I just want you to notice that you have those negative thoughts. And ideally down the road, what you can start to do is say, no, I'm not stupid. Maybe that was a silly thing to do, or maybe I could do it differently in the future. But at first, just start to notice, and then down the road, start to change them. Because once you've noticed your thoughts, then you can pay attention to your emotions. Because your emotions, they control you. Your emotions carry weight in your body on an energetic level. There's so much going on with emotions, but the issue with emotions is that so often it's not what's taking place in front of you that's causing the issue, but what's happening is that you're being triggered. And so when we can pay attention to that trigger and recognize what it is, but then understand the emotions behind that trigger, that's when we can make changes. because stress is about how we react to a situation. When we can learn to respond, then we can really change our lives, because we can't change the world around us, but we can change how we see it. So if we can start to recognize our emotional triggers and then understand where they came from, then we can do something about them. Because so often those emotional triggers, what happens is that they take us back to something that happened into our childhood and back to that inner child. And when the inner child is triggered within us, then that inner child, that's how that inner child responds. That's how we respond. And unfortunately, that inner child is responding the only way it knows how, and that's at that age. So if it's 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 or 2 or 3, the inner child responds in the only way it knows how. That's as that 2 or 3-year-old, 5 or 6-year-old. And so when we can become aware of the inner child and come to understand what happened, then so often we can let it go. There's all kinds of work that can be done on meditations to that inner child and working with them and, helping them to reintegrate and grow. And when we can do that, we can start to respond, as an adult would, with the tools that we have in our tool belt now, to be able to look at things more consciously and to change the way we respond. And that's, there's so much involved with emotional responses that triggers, a whole avalanche of hormones that are released and that affect us on a long-term basis. And, there's so much going on there that if we can bring about change in that way, we will make significant changes in so many areas. So it's becoming an observer in your life on that mental, emotional, and physical level to help you to come to understand your body and recognize what it's showing you. Because once you can do that, then you can start to truly recognize how intuition presents itself to you. Because it will be different for every single person. One of my friends was driving home she used to take her kids to dance every Tuesday night. And when she took her kids to dance, she would go to Toastmasters afterwards. Same Tuesday night, drop her kids off at dance, she'd go to Toastmasters. And so this one Tuesday was no different. She took her kids, dropped them off. But on the way to Toastmasters, she stopped at a stoplight and she started to feel really queasy and felt a flush of heat. And she thought that was really strange. And she thought, I don't know, there's something going on. And she decided to not go to Toastmasters. And now Sarah loved Toastmasters. But she went home. And when she got home, she got a phone call from the dance studio where she dropped off her kids. Could she come back? Because one of her daughters had fallen and hurt herself. So she rushed back to the studio. And sure enough, when she got there, she could hear her daughter screaming from outside because one of her daughters had fallen and broken both of her wrists. They rushed her to the because she was quite young. But Sarah was so happy that she had listened to what her body had told her, even though she didn't really recognize it. But she listened to that flash and the heat and the queasiness and went home. Because usually when she goes to Toastmasters, she turns off her phone and throws it in her purse, and it would have been 2 or 3 hours before she actually could have responded and helped her daughter out. So her intuition showed her what it looked like to her. And now she utilizes her intuition all the time. And so you will, once you understand and are that observer in your life, then you can pay attention to what your body's telling you. And you can learn to listen and be able to recognize how intuition presents itself to you. So you become the observer, you recognize if it's indigestion or intuition, and then you start to play with it because you want to develop it. Because intuition is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And so tomorrow, or when you're leaving maybe we'll have to change this up a bit. Because usually I say when you're leaving your house tomorrow and you're driving to work. But we'll play with that anyways, is that stop at the end of your driveway and stop and ask for directions. If you always get it right and you get it right, then take it. But if you get a left, then take the left. Because you could be shown to avoid a car accident or a traffic jam, or you could be shown that beautiful house that's on your vision board that you never saw before. And start doing that on a regular basis. And start to notice. And then on the way to work, or even when you're playing around tomorrow, if you're stuck inside, start to ask the questions of, what is going on here? What's my kids going to do next? Not what TV show, but who will call me next? What are the kids going to act like this afternoon? Like all these, just start to ask those questions and wait for a response to see. Because it's very interesting. The more you do this and start to just throw out, and make it a game and play with it, the more you'll see how intuition does present itself to you, and then how you can utilize it. Some of the wonderful things that you can do to tap into your intuition are Reiki and meditation. These practices slow down your brain, slow down your body, so you can learn to listen. Do mindfulness meditations where you're actually just sitting there in the silence and listening to what your body's showing you. Or when you go for a walk, do a mindful walk and just pay attention to every movement of your body, your clothes and your skin, the wind in the skin, but being mindful, being present, and listening to what's going on. Because in this moment, you have everything that you need. Your intuition will speak to you. It will guide you. It will take you places you never dreamt possible, because that's what your intuition does for you. Whether you want to be a better leader, a better employee, you want to have a better relationship with yourself, you want to change your health, your intuition guides you every single day throughout it. Dr. Wayne Dyer once said, if prayer is you talking to God, then intuition is God talking to you. And you think about that, it's pretty impressive, especially coming from Dr. Wayne Dyer. So start to develop that intuition and play with it more. Observe yourself, listen to your body, and develop it. Utilize it like a muscle. And then once you do that, that's when you truly can come to trust it. And journaling is a great way to get in touch with your intuition and start to notice your success journal, especially as you start to play with it and develop it. And so at the end of the day, you can write down 3 things that you learned, 3 physical symptoms that you noticed that day, 2 emotions that you some thoughts that you had. You only have to take 2 minutes to do it, but journaling is a really great way on so many levels to get in touch with you and to start to really understand yourself better. And I actually, with my journaling, actually ended up taking my journaling notes and writing a book. And it became a book that's all about, getting in touch with yourself and listening to yourself and paying attention and coming to understand yourself better. Because this really is what your intuition is. It's you, that inner genius. And when you can trust you, then you don't have to worry about the rest of the world. You don't have to be in fear of what people could do to you based upon your past. You don't have to be, anxious about anything, because if you're listening to your body and listening to your gut and listening to your thoughts, then you will know whether or not you're on the right track. It helps you get more in touch with your life purpose. It takes you closer to God or whatever higher being you connect with. It's all there for you to aid you in your life and make your life flow, and to allow you to find the true beauty in life, because you're finding the true beauty inside of you. And once again, as I said before, right, when we start looking internally for all that we need, that's when we truly step into our power and our strength, because it is all there. We have our guides and we have our angels, and they support us and they guide us and they provide us with the information that we need. But they don't tell us what to do. Right? They provide us with the tools that we need, and they're always there for us, and they're a great powerhouse for us. But we have to come to trust ourselves and know ourselves and utilize that information so that we can become the best version of ourselves and truly have more in our lives and find that joy and happiness that we're all searching for, and that our guides and our angels are trying to take us there, where life becomes more. Life becomes so much bigger and better than what we could dream of, because that's what our angels, our guides, Christ, the universe, that's what everyone wants for us, is to be on that journey that provides us with more, whatever that means to you. More peace, more joy, more happiness, better health. Like it's all there for you, and it's all there inside of you, giving you the tools that you need. So when you come to trust, that's when your life can truly change, and you can incorporate so many other practices inside of you. And I'm sorry, I thought I should shut that off. I did shut it off. Sorry. So trust is such a beautiful thing, and I think that it's your intuition can take you where you need to go with that trust. So just to reiterate once again, become that observer in your life. And that observer, that development of self-awareness and self-growth, is such a huge part of anything that you're going to do to move towards ascension, to self-development, to awareness, to enlightenment. Because if we don't understand who we are, and we don't see the beauty and have the true love and compassion and everything for ourselves, then we can't step into our true power and step into that beauty and the love and the strength that's inside of us. And I think that that the lack of love and lack of trust for ourselves, because we don't trust that inner genius, that inner wisdom, is really something that limits us. And it's part of our story also that limits us. We all have this story that's been created throughout our lives based upon what we've been told about ourselves, the labels that we've been put on ourselves, things that we hear, but that label limits us, and it doesn't allow us to tap into that intuition and trust that intuition. So when we become that observer in our life, then we become aware of the story that's blocking us. We become aware of who we truly are, and we move into, with serenity and peace, the true beauty of who we are. And that's your inner genius, your own inner wisdom. And, I think there's so much that we each have to offer to the world. And there's so much beauty in all of us that, but so often we see it from outside. So look inside and see what you can find, because you will be amazed. I think it always fascinates me when people come to see the true beauty inside of them, and move towards understanding themselves better, and trusting themselves more, and loving themselves and having that compassion. And when you're in that place of loving compassion for yourself, then life flows. And we have truly those moments of joy and happiness and peace. And so tap into your intuition, tap in, become that observer, learn to recognize what your body's telling you, how intuition presents itself to you, develop it, play with it. It is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets, and then come to trust. And it will change your life. What do you think, Terry?
Wow, wow, wow. Oh my gosh, Joanna, so many nuggets in that. I was even trying to take notes. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so good. Wow, thank you. And it's the second time today, well, at least for me, on the ones that I've been with.
I don't know if your screen that's frozen, Terry, or mine that's frozen.
Yeah, it was mine. I hope I'm back now. Are you hearing me now?
There. Yes, I can.
Okay. I was saying it's the second time today that I've been involved in one of these lives with the presenter, that love and compassion is what has come foremost of really making a difference. And I think that is what's going to help all of us through anything, any challenge that we come across, because love is the energy that heals. And then we feel compassion not only for ourselves as we're going through things, but for others in our life. But oh, just a wonderful, wonderful message that you shared with us, and you did it so lovingly. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you
you're
so
welcome.
much, Joanna. So if people want to reach you and get more of your beautiful presence, how do they do that? Where would they go?
So it's Joanna, Joanna, Joanna Rogister, Rogister. So my email, my website is joannarogister.com. And Facebook, it's Joanna Rogister Wellness Renegade, or my personal page, Joanna Rogister. But everything's between those three different places. On Instagram, Joanna Rogister. So it's all there. If anyone has any questions, concerns, they want that food and mood diary, all the tools are there for you to receive it.
How beautiful.
Oh, thank
I
you.
really hope that you all will reach out to Joanna. And Joanna, did you share that you have some programs coming up?
Oh, yes.
Would you share that with us?
Definitely. So I am a registered holistic nutritionist on top of being an intuitive life coach and homeopath, but I'm offering free online virtual cooking classes, keto cooking classes on Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm going to be doing an online class and talking about keto basics and why keto and just some of the basic information. I won't be cooking online because that's kind of a waste of time. But if you want the recipes ahead of time or afterwards, you can just reach out to me at Joanna Rogister Wellness Renegade and I can send them to you. But that's where Facebook, Joanna Rogister Wellness Renegade, Tuesday at 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, free of charge. There's just a Zoom link to connect on it.
I plan
And
on
then I'll be doing more of that down the road. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited, and thank you so much for offering that to us.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you very much. And thanks for having me on.
Oh,
I
thank you.
love what you're doing.
It was magnificent. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
all of you in Facebook, I appreciate you being here, and I hope that you'll stay around. We have another wonderful half hour coming up right now at 6 o'clock, and I believe Dr. Ruth Anderson is hosting that one.
Oh, wonderful.
So jump on there and find us at Enlightened World Network if you're not there yet, and like the page. Thank you again, everyone, and thank you again, Joanna. I appreciate you, and I'll be talking to you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye.